out there in the internet lens. Welcome to You've Got a Thing, an interview thing about Milwaukee theater things. My name is Jamelyn Gray, fill-in host extraordinaire. I am the current president of the Milwaukee Theater Alliance, co-creator of this program you see here, and the artistic director of The Constructivists. And with me today, I have two awesome actors that I got to see their show on Wednesday. So I think that's the only time I've ever seen a show before I interviewed somebody. So I will try not to spoil anything. But can you all introduce yourselves and let the world out there know who you are?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Dimonte Henning, and I play Winston in the production of The Island.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sherrick Robinson, and I play John in the same production.
Yes. Thank you all for taking time for us today. We should say right off the bat, it is a two-person show. Like it's just you two on stage for over an hour on a square.
Yeah.
That's it.
Keep feeling those.
I mean, personally, that type of theater is my favorite. I love two-handers because I just think it's so interesting to just watch two people on stage tell a story. So can you all like just fill in everybody out there of what this story is?
Yeah. So the play is called The Island by Ethel Fugard, John Connie, and Winston Ntishona, and it takes place in South Africa during apartheid. And John and Winston are sent to this prison called Robben Island. And at this prison, they do hard work during the day, pointless work where they shovel sand into each other's hole. That's actually how the play starts. And then the next person has to dump sand into each other's hole. And so they just do these hard activities during the day. And in the evening, John and Winston rehearse the play Antigone. And so this play, which is in a way a protest play, and I think it's important to note that these men were sent to this prison because they are political prisoners. They were standing up for their country as it was being invaded. And so through this play, you kind of see John and Winston, their brotherhood amidst all the chaos, amidst all the challenges and difficulty, and how their brotherhood is still intact and how they persevere even though everything that is negative is being thrown at them.
I totally agree. Dimonte has kind of really hit the nail on the head in a well placed play. I love that that as far as like a lot of the information that's out there about the island, it plays a little bit coy, close to the vest. Like it's a prison off the island of Africa, and it's like you know the one, like wink nod, like it almost feels like that, but it's very obviously Robben Island prison and all that kind of stuff. And so it's a very visceral, deep, personal play to get to perform.
Yeah, it's what I live for. Can you because it does say, if you check out information out there about the Robben Island connection, and how much research really had to go into this, because it's such a historically relevant play and it's very specific. How much did you all at the beginning of this process get into that backstory and that side of it?
Well, I think it's important for people to know that this started as a virtual production in Milwaukee Chamber Theater's season last year. And so we've been working on this play, or it's been with us for the past 14, 15 months. So
just insane.
Yeah. And now we're doing it in person, which is such a gift, just to have a live audience there. But I mean, we did a lot of research, just looking at Nelson Mandela. There is a website that is dedicated to the prisoners who were at Robben Island. And something that I found fascinating was that in the play, they mentioned, John and Winston mentioned Georgie, Mangi, Vusumsi, all of these their friends that were in these prisons with them. And these were actual real people.
Mhm.
And you got to hear them speak on this. I think it's called robinisland.org or something like that. But
Yeah.
you hear them speak on their experiences and taking that knowledge of the words actually coming out of their mouth for people who experienced that, and then applying that and saying their actual names in the play. It brings some authenticity to it, especially for a play like this.
Absolutely. We were talking a little bit backstage because I did want to get into, because you all worked with a dialect coach, because that's when you're dealing with specifics like you are, to reach that authenticity. Obviously, it's important to take people into the world to really get the sounds, and I loved the music that went into this, and so can you talk about that process of, because some people out there might not know how dialect work actually works and what it takes.
Yeah. So as far as like the dialect work, we worked with a dialect coach. His name's Nathan. Absolutely fantastic individual, and he actually kind of helped us like get into the mindset of reshaping the way that we use our mouth to make sounds, because the tongue stays very flat. There's a lot of like trills and rolls in things. So like even like in the word three, like it's like three versus three, like you're kind of putting that extra thing in there. And that like Afrikaans is kind of like a mixture of a couple of different, like it feels a little bit Dutch, and it's also like it's got a little bit of like it's just putting that extra stuff in there, and really kind of just retraining your brain to communicate with your mouth so that the way that you make the sounds comes out differently, like, and so he spoke a lot to that. And we had a talk back actually last night, and Dimonte pointed this out. Like there's a lot, like a good like practice is like ha ha ha, ho ho ho, he, like making sure that your tongue doesn't move throughout that to kind of help get you into that mindset of like how they make sounds, and how like just producing that sound. He focused a lot on that, and having us listen to like Nelson Mandela have conversations, and not just listening to Nelson, but like old Nelson, like before, like up to and close to like when he passed away, versus like listening to him when he was very young, like when they were doing like interviews with him, and he is very like short and like, you must understand the what we want for our people, like just getting into the way that he felt about those kinds of things, and also listening to John Connie, who like is a real person who helped write this play. Just getting into their mindsets, and helping, just listening to the way that they say things, and also watching the way that they say things, and how like where they would put inflections, where like just where they would stop to pause to think of the next thing that they wanted to say, all that kind of stuff. It feels like a lot, but like once you get like the hang of it, it just becomes this like thing that you can, like picking up a bicycle and just getting on, like it's like learning to ride a bike. Once you've got it though, and you start learning how to make those mouth sounds, it becomes pretty easy. And I put air quotes around easy because it's not, but like when you're doing it for 14 months, it becomes quote unquote easy to do.
Yeah, I do want to go back, because we do have a question about how was that transition from virtual to live. Did you keep a lot of the same blocking? Like what, like how did that go?
To speak briefly on it, they're totally different productions. Totally different. As far as the blocking, some things got kept, some things got dropped. Something that I'll let Dimonte speak more to is that like we kind of adjusted a little bit of the story that we wanted to tell.
Okay.
Regarding what was going on in it. So yeah, totally different productions, I feel personally.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was, I think for me, we did this in February of 2021, and I think the pandemic was in a different place than we are now. And to me, it just made the production feel a lot heavier. It made it feel just a lot because we didn't know anything of what was happening with COVID. Something that was also different in the virtual production was that we had to remain 6 feet apart. We had to, in the middle of a scene, they would yell, hold. And if I had to pass a prop to Sherrick, he would go off stage, grab his set of the same prop. I would take my prop off stage, and then we would resume right in the middle of a scene.
Yeah.
It would be it would be those type of things because we couldn't touch. We had to have 2 sets of everything. So it was strange. And especially to not have a run, to just do the thing twice and then be done. It was just very, very interesting. But something that I think we did with this production was we wanted to lean more into like the brotherhood between John and Winston. And for me, I think last year, because it is a very traumatic piece that John and Winston have to go through because of apartheid. And I wanted to really just tell the story of, or really just try to tell the story of their brotherhood and that they have each other, even though, the world is crashing down on both of them. How do these 2 men still have each other?
Yeah, and to kind of even go further with what Dimonte was saying about the props, like there's one bucket on the stage, so they literally welded a separator into the bucket, and we each had separate rags, and so like there had to be bits where like if I was cleaning myself with a rag, it had to be put away in such a way that it wasn't like it's funny now because we use the same rags, so like now it's like I'll like quick glance during the show and I'll go, oh, this is Dimonte's rag today. I am being a rebel, but like there was literally like a weld point, like metal between, so that we didn't even mix water together. Like it was just like that, nope, that's too much of a hazard, so we have to make sure that we do as much as we can. And so to do this kind of a show and have ultimately like no more than 6 people in the space other than us at one point. And like Dimonte mentioned, COVID was a crazy time back then, not to mention now, but like crazy time then. So like anytime we were paused or anything like that, you'd put masks on. We had people that had face shields that were around. There were air exchangers just running constantly. Like it was very, very like distracting isn't the right word, but it just kind of, it took away a little bit from the art, and not necessarily in a way that like makes it invalid or anything like that, but just getting to do it now feels like we're so grateful to get to do it now, where people can come in and see it and share that energy, because you can see some of what's going on your screen right now, and it's nice to be able to see the production, but it's one of those things where it's like you're only really getting the sense, like you don't feel like we can't transfer that energy through the screen to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so being in there and just like when Dimonte is doing this monologue he has towards the end about like why is he even there, is like he can do that in like the same kind of blocking that he did in the previous one, like the virtual production, but it's gonna feel way different because you're in there feeling the energy coming off of him. Like
I gotta echo everything he just said. I think it is when you're in there, and like you witnessed, Jamie Lynn, it's like you feel that energy. You are immersed with it. Is a completely different experience. The sound alone, I mean, it's coming at you, it swells, and it is just a completely different experience.
It's the main reason why I'm so passionate about live theater. Like that there is, I'm sorry, there's nothing else. And for accessibility and all those types of things, we do need to start thinking about, these filmed versions and things. But absolutely, whenever you can go and see a live production, you need to do that. I do want to say one thing, and you can tell me if I'm completely wrong on this, but I felt like, and I don't know if this is in the script as intentional, or if you all just built this because of the brotherhood relationship. There was some humor in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I appreciate that. I think that that's when you have these Fugard is so intense. And I mean, that's the same of the production that I did too. It was a brother and sister, and it seems like in the writing there is that bit of relief, quote unquote, for the intensity of the writing. Am I real on that, or is it like, can you tell me?
I think you hit it on the head. And that was something that, at least for me, that I wanted to really do differently this time. Because as I mentioned before, last year, you know, it's easy to just kind of lean into the anger and the frustration, especially with a play like as you said, like E32 Fugard. It's easy to do that. But I wanted to play, like, it was important for us to be like brothers. Like, there's a scene that we have where we argue about a rag. And, you know, and then they argue of Winston. My character does not want to do Antigone because of a number of reasons. John is like, no, we have to do this. And it's just that irritation. And so now I'm trying to figure out, okay, how can I make this less heavy for me? How can I really just find different tactics to get through to John, to get through to Sherrick? How can I make him laugh? You know, just playing and having fun, and not, you know, playing too much of the trauma. So I think you are absolutely correct.
Yeah, and to echo what Dimonte said on that, we played a lot more tactics this time because, as you mentioned, Fugard can be very intense, and human beings can be very intense. But like, there's something to be said about the wave and crest of tension and humor and stuff like that. Because, like, you know, not only would you burn out your actors by just doing a show where they just scream at each other for 70 minutes, but you're going to burn out your audience. Your audience doesn't know where the stakes are. If everything is super important, nothing is important. And so, like, to kind of even go on a bit that Dimonte said, I said this to him the other day backstage. I was like, you almost broke me this one day, because, like, I realized that there's a point where I'm pleading with him to do the 3 fingers 1 nail bit, and I just hear him mutter like, I don't give a damn about this. I thought it was so funny. Nope, I can't laugh. I'm trying to be serious right now. I'm trying to, like, plead him to do this. Like, I don't give a damn about this shit.
Yeah, there were times in rehearsal where there was this one rehearsal, and I just almost broke character because Sherrick was making me, he did something, and he had never done it before, and I wasn't expecting it, and I almost broke character. But it's those type of moments that it's like, we got to find the fun in this now. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I really feel that what you said, Sherrick, about the giving the relief to both the actors and the audience. It's what I impress upon my actors at the Constructivist, because this is the kind of work that we do all the time, is that human beings aren't like that. You know, human beings wouldn't for an hour. I mean, maybe some would. I shouldn't make such a blanket statement like that. But to be punishing that for now, I don't. Maybe that's the wrong word. Intense for a whole hour. Yeah. So you all close Sunday, yes? Is that
next Sunday?
Next Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. I'm sorry.
We still got some time. Yeah. No show tonight. Well, if you're watching this live, no show tonight, the 22nd of April. 2 shows on the 23rd. 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. I'm doing this off the top of my head. And then I think it's a 1 p.m. on Sunday. I don't remember. 2 p.m. Okay, yeah. Thank you on that. So then we have some shows basically Wednesday through Sunday of next week, and that's it.
Can I ask why you all don't have a show tonight?
That I don't know.
Okay, all right. I'll just leave it.
I don't want to hazard a guess, but
sure.
What's interesting is that we have 2 shows tomorrow, which we haven't had a 2 show Saturday in a long time. So maybe that's to make up for not having a show tonight. I don't know.
I mean, I will say that as a parent, I so appreciate the matinees, even when it's intense work like this, because it just gives better access. Like my kids in school, during that time, so I quick like ran down to the theater and it's like, give me some intensity, and then go back and pick up your kid. You know what I'm saying? And then you're, I want to talk to my kid. Would you like to talk about South African apartheid? Would you?
Oh, yeah.
Not exactly the conversation that my 20-year-old disabled kid really wants to, but it was good for me. Yeah, if you've never seen Fugard before, I think that this is an excellent example of his work. I mean, a lot of his shows sort of, I mean, this is where he was from. This is what he knows. And so just the way that he writes, and again, he worked with 2 other people on this, so that's sort of a different ball game. But I just I love the flow of the story, and again, the work that you 2 did together. Just I thought you were just great. Like I can't say anything other than that. Is that like all the direction of the movement on stage, and then the way that the story kept propelling forward, just a real feat to do it. I think you all handled it with full aplomb. That's like, I can't say anything other than that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's very kind of you to say.
Yeah,
we have a blast doing it.
Yeah. Despite how intense it is, it does look like, I mean, that's the kind of work that actors live for, right?
Yeah.
What you're doing. So
and you talk a little bit about just Fugard and his writing, and it makes it a lot easier, because once you have a great writer like that, who, all 3 of them, John, Connie, and Winston, and Tashona, like it just makes it a lot easier to understand the story as it progresses. I mean, and the text work alone in their writing is one of the reasons why I think people should see this show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally concur. Again,
it is very the highest compliment I think I can give it. It's very human.
Yeah,
it's very human. Like this doesn't feel like and that's not to insult any other writers or anything. It's like it doesn't feel like a arsenic and old lace kind of situation where it's like, oh, this is like funny. This is like it's kind of suspension of disbelief, like slapsticky at times kind of thing. But like, this is just like it feels like a human experience, and you were just like a witness to it. And one of the things that I think that is so good about this is that that seeing it live versus virtually is like, virtually you could kind of go, all right, I'm going to pause this so I can step away and process it. Whereas like live is like, you can look away if you wanna, but like you're still going to be hearing it, like the echoes every night from hearing us, just like when we have conversations and nothing else is happening, and just like something happens, like a snap, gives me chills every time. And I've like heard these words like thousands of times at this point, but like just hearing Dimonte say, "Why am I here?" every time, I'm like, oh, flip. Like, that is, wow. Okay. Yeah. Why are you here? So.
I mean, this is the kind of work that I call dark catharsis. And I feel like it's so important to humanity to have this work, and to be able to, yes, it's an hour of like being in an intense story. And I really felt that those parts where you're like, it's kind of comedic or whatever, I felt like I can see people in the situation doing those things.
Yes.
Because of what they're in. I didn't see it as something that was, out there at all. So I would highly encourage people to go and see that. Like, I can't say enough about it. So you can go to Milwaukee Chamber Theatre. It's Theatre, it's TRE.org to get your tickets. Run down there, make it happen. Again, no show tonight, but 2 shows tomorrow, and then this will run all the way through
May 1.
Next weekend, so there is time to go and do this. But yeah, you two are amazeballs, so you should just, I don't know, be proud. I think that might be lame, but it's
Not at all. No, I think that's the best way to put it, because like to kind of give you just like a parting anecdote, like Dimonte and I were kind of left up to do like the curtain call situation. Like it just didn't like really happen until preview, and so we were like, oh, you know what, like it's probably best if we just bow. Like it feels wrong to just like smile and be like, thank you so much, see you, like have a good, and so it's very kind of like a emotionless, like we appreciate this, we are proud to get to do this for you, now we are going to part. Because like I think giving a smiling or like any sort of like haha breaks that sense of like, okay, this is something that you can just pass off of as a legend, which as something that bloody thing never even happened, which like, no, it happened, is happening, will continue to happen, unfortunately. And so just presenting the show that way and presenting the end that way of like, now it is on you to process it, I think is a sense of pride that I can't speak for Dimonte, but I feel getting to just say thank you very much. This is the hard work that we have. So here we are.
Yeah. I feel very grateful to be in this position to honor these men who didn't get to see their children raised, who didn't have the opportunity to be with their wives, to just have their freedom, and to have every second of every day planned out for them, and to not have a voice. I don't think there is a play. There are plays about apartheid, but I don't think there is a play that specifically talks about these political prisoners during apartheid in South Africa. So I just feel very grateful to be in this position to tell this story with my brother Sherrick, and to share it with this community. So come check it out.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here to talk about this, because it's just it's a part of history that we all need to learn and experience more, because it's so mind-blowing. And again, it's not that far away, and it's just, some things come back and all the things, and some things are still here. So go and see it. But yes, thank you all, and have a great rest of your run. And I look forward to seeing you two on stage again.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.
You.
Oh, I'm telling you, go and see this. I'm not kidding. Just go to the website, buy tickets, make it happen. It'll be something that you will be glad that you saw, despite the intensity. Anywho, so think those two again are just amazing in this show. And yeah, I just thank them for coming on and sharing part of their day with us. But now I want to get into a little bit of some other things that we have going on in the community. Tomorrow, the Milwaukee Theater Alliance, I will be there to talk about this. It's going to be a Zoom. I like to call it office hours, to talk about the Milwaukee Theater Standards, to make any edits or revisions for the 2022-23 season. If you don't know what the Milwaukee Theater Standards are, we at the Theater Alliance, over the course of the pandemic, took the Chicago Theater Standards and revamped it for the Milwaukee community, added a whole bunch of stuff relevant to Milwaukee, and we started working on this after the murder of George Floyd, and so there were a whole bunch of things that we needed to address over this process. It's a 58-page document, or 53 or something like that. So it's something that we will create more digestible versions soon. But you can go to MilwaukeeTheatreAlliance.org, and there's a standards tab in the navigation, and you can take a look at this document. You can come tomorrow via Zoom. There's a registration on there, I think. I don't remember. Go and check it out. If you have any problems, you can email us and all those kinds of things. If you haven't come across this document before, just check out the headings and just see what you feel like is relevant to you, and come and ask questions, and we'll talk. So again, tomorrow over Zoom, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., April 23rd. Come visit. Closing this week, not the island, but Raisin is closing on Sunday. I'm really hoping to squeeze this in, because it's just, I feel like this is one of those things that you will only have the chance to see like right now. I'm not sure it'll come back to Milwaukee anytime soon. This was the Best Musical in 1974. Raisin is based on Lorraine Hansberry's A Raisin in the Sun. It is set in Chicago in 1951, and it is based around the first African-American family to buy a house in the all-white neighborhood of Clybourne Park. I like I said, I hope to catch this, but I've been hearing good things about this. And so you can go to skylightmusictheatre.org for that. They also have, when you get there, this their Kids' Rights Project, which just went virtual this week. I saw, if you go into Skylight's Facebook page, there's a piece that they posted from this project, and it's some kid wrote a piece called Chocolate, and then they put music to it, and it is hilarious. I hope you can check this out, because this is just a great project where kids write things and then professionals put music to it, and they've been doing it for very many years, 22nd years, so 22 years. But you can get the virtual version of that also at skylightmusictheatre.org for that. Sunstone Studios is opening their new playwrights showcase tonight. As you can see there on the screen, there are 4 plays that they're working with by local artists. Mandalas and Mirrors, Assassins Anthology, Evolution of Sunday, and R.I.P. R.I.P. I think is a new musical from what I remember. Support local art, support new playwrights, and those types of things. You can see the schedule at sunstonestudiosmke.com, because it is sort of, they give you multiple opportunities, and it's sort of, I don't know, kind of a repertory type thing. So go to their website and check that out. Milwaukee Opera Theatre, their live voice labs are back, which is very exciting, because they've been doing the virtual version for a very long time in this pandemic, as of course needed, because as we all learned, singing is not the best thing to do in a room full of people over a pandemic. So this is a great idea and helpful utility that they have over there at Milwaukee Opera Theatre. They take the first 12 singers to sign up, and you sing a song and you get feedback, predominantly from Joanna and Danny Brylo, but then also people who come and watch can also give some feedback. You don't have to sing. You can go and see this thing and just enjoy the experience. You do have to register with Danny. Their information is on their website at MilwaukeeOperaTheatre.org. You will have to get a rapid test for this. Again, we're still trying to be safe. COVID is still here. MPS just went back to their mask mandate. This is not over, people. It's not over. And that's a kind reminder to also check with theaters for their COVID protocols. I went to see The Island on Wednesday. They're still requiring masks, so make sure that you do that before you go. Also, Milwaukee Opera Theatre has their ARIA project. They have one more going on in May. This is a great thing that they did over the pandemic with local artists to like tell a story of what they want to bring to the community. They have one out there right now. You can sign up for these to get them in your inbox. So if you want to check out the next one, get that in your inbox, sign up on the website, and you can also see the ones that came before this. So do that for Milwaukee Opera Theater. Next week, we have an opening from Milwaukee Entertainment Group. Their Death by Design, directed by Zach Thomas Woods, is coming up next week. This is, where is that? Glamorous English actress Sorrel Bennett and her sophisticated playwright husband, Edward, have retreated to their country estate after their latest play is panned by London critics, and somebody dies. Yes, yeah, somebody dies. The Death by Design. Yeah. So it's a whodunit kind of thingy. You can check out MilwaukeeEntertainmentGroup.com to find out about tickets and more information for that. I do want to mention Capita Productions. City at Peace in the Arts is what Capita stands for. Has their ongoing virtual We Are the Drum happening. This is great for schools and educational groups. Their whole goal over there at Capita is to foster multicultural awareness and racial harmony through theater, which yes, can we keep doing more of that, please? I've said every single time that I talk about this, they have beautiful voices over there at Capita. You need to check it out. So you can go to capitaproductions.com for that. Imagine MKE, always have to mention them because they give us this amazing platform to use, which makes my life as a producer so much easier. But they are also a wonderful, fantastic organization who is such an amazing advocate for arts in Milwaukee. We have a crisis here in Wisconsin in that we are 49th in public arts funding. Milwaukee is in the 79th percentile for government support for the arts and in the 58th percentile for state arts dollars, which, you know, makes us like so far behind. We're behind Cleveland, Indianapolis, Detroit, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, all the cities that are about the same size that we are. They have put a proposal to Milwaukee County to allocate 2%. Which is about 3.6 million of their American Rescue Plan Act dollars that they've received. I think somehow what we're at right now is like 0.02% or some crazy batshit thing like that. It's just awful. So if you want arts in your life, please think about advocating more for arts to your representatives. And one way that you can do that is today, I believe it's at noon, go to imaginemke.org. You can talk to David Lee about how to better interact with your elected officials. He can just give you some advice, not do it the way that I did, which is like, why do you hate the arts? I didn't really do that, but that's what when I went to this meeting, I was like, can I say that? And David said no. So please just advocate for us. We need more money. We need to pay our artists. Theater is a public good. Art is a public good. It makes you feel better. You have better mental health. You just live a better life with arts in your life, music, dance, visual art. You do love your Milwaukee sculptures, right? Yeah, it takes money to build that shit. So help us out. So again, you can go to imaginemke.org/act. You can sign up. They will send you emails and things. They will give you templates, how to email your representatives. Do the thing. Do the thing. Do the thing. Just want to say, April is National Deaf History Month. We are at the Theater Alliance predominantly because of Katie Cummings over at Pink Umbrella, who has been the biggest advocate for disabled artists and inclusion to make theater more accessible. You can go to the National Association of the Deaf at nad.org to learn more. Their goal is to obviously raise awareness for the deaf community. So go there to learn more about that. It's also National Arab American Heritage Month. So you can go to the National Arab American Heritage Month.com, NAAHM.com to, oh, no, it's .org. Check out ArabAmericaFoundation.org also to find out more about the community and recognizing the achievements of Arab Americans, and just really a celebration of all that Arab Americans provide to the community. So I highly encourage you to check out that as well. And then last but not least, I couldn't put this anywhere in this, anywhere. This April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. There's no good place to put this in this informational session, but we need to raise public awareness more, because it's just something that's still a plague in our lives. Again, the theater standards, we have a lot of information in the theater standards about how to report sexual assault, the importance of being an advocate for yourself and reporting incidents. We have a form online at the Milwaukee Theater Alliance.org that you can anonymously report things, and that goes to leaders in the Theater Alliance, and we can spread that throughout the community of just being aware of what is happening more in our community, because if you gotta say something, we need to just, the only way that we're gonna do better and be safer is to give people the tools to speak out more. So again, join me tomorrow over Zoom at 10 a.m. Check out the standards. Come with your questions. I can talk to you more about the history of why we did this and making it happen. And hopefully I'll see you there. But that's what we got today. Again, go and see the island, because it's something that you need in your life. And then I will likely see you back here next week, unless maybe Dimonte or Sherrick can host. Yeah, and the way that it's supposed to work is last week's guest becomes next week's host, but sometimes people just get tied up in things, and then I am here to make your lives better. So thank you so much out there in the internet lands for being with us today and asking your questions. I always encourage people to come and ask questions live, and hopefully we'll see you next week on You've Got a thing.